Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Today I bring you a new video exploring an illustration that I made for the world building project that I'm working on. I'm aware it's been a while since my last posting, but that's just because I've been preoccupied with different tasks and responsibilities. With that said, let's take a look into what I have to share today. In this digital illustration, I am rendering an existing character that I made that is meant to be the pilot of the walker that I have designed recently. In this video, I'm going to share the references and inspirations that led me to this final product. So without further ado, let's jump into that. Beginning with the main inspiration for this character's outfit, I want to say that I took inspiration from old-timey pilot's fits as well as general uniforms. The resulting design is meant to convey an elegant yet practical idea. However, it may have you wonder why a soldier, who's typically in the front lines, would need to look very nice. The answer to that lies in the type of nation this soldier serves, that being the Elysian Empire. As stated in former videos, the Elysian Empire has a reputation for being a rather flamboyant one, and wanting to present the best possible image to the rest of the world regardless of however that may read. This is reflected in this outfit by having a clean, smooth surface as well as vibrant colors, which will be demonstrated later on in the video. With this addressed, we may take a look at the lower half of the outfit, in which you may notice that there is an abundance of technical elements involved. Now the reason why this is because unlike traditional means of piloting a walker of some kind, whether that be using levers, buttons, or knobs, in my narrative I'd like to take a different approach. Instead of using these traditional means of control, I'd like to imagine a series of wires and pulleys which connect to the pilot and record and measure his movements, replicating the same actions via using a series of pistons as to make the walker move in a way that is adjacent to the pilot, essentially making the whole machine into a puppet, with the pilot being the puppeteer. Now, I understand that it seems odd to control a machine in this way. However, I believe it best fits the setting that I'm creating here, a world in which advanced technologies such as electricity and motion control aren't available and more mechanical-based means of controlling are required. But with all of that said, we can begin to look at the color side of this illustration. I knew that I wanted this pilot's outfit to be reflective of the nation that he serves, so that's why I brought up the Elysian flag and began to reference it. I definitely wanted to make it very vibrant, as the nation that he serves is a very flashy one. But of course, I didn't want to go overboard, so I still kept the colors within a certain range. When it came to the mechanical coloration, I wanted to match something that was adjacent to old-timey bronze machines, type of stuff that you would see in an antique shop, you know? But with that said, I added some highlights, some reflective aspects, and began to work on the shading. Now, initially, I had envisioned a cel-shaded illustration, but I discovered a blender which I ended up being fascinated by and chose to use for the illustration. Once I blended in different hues of colors, I began to become content with the illustration. All that I needed to do was add the finishing touches, which involved adding the wires to the aforementioned mechanical system, and simply place a simple background behind them, which I'll show to you in just a sec. But after this was done, I can finally begin to explore who the character is as a person. Now, the name of this character that we've been talking about so far is Thomas. He is the pilot of the witch house that we have been following so far. He's been around the Elysian Empire for quite a while, living his whole childhood there, being born in the main island. During his time there, he never really suffered from any necessity, but wasn't exactly privileged either. He had an educated life, went to school, and eventually enlisted in the army once the Elysian Empire began to face a multitude of issues when it came to its adversaries. Determined to protect the lifestyle he had grown acquainted with, he was eager to enlist in the armed forces. Although initially pushed to join the airship navy, he was dissuaded from it as he did not really like heights. As a result, he opted to join the land armed forces, which was less prominent at the time but would prove to be a vital part of the army as times became more desperate. As he was one of the first pilots for landwalkers, he soon became quite the pioneer in developing new strategies, techniques, and skills. Along with the rest of his crew, they would go on to be known as one of the best out there. As a result, they would be elected to go on a special mission, which the short film that I'm working on will focus on. I want to thank you for watching the video, It means a lot to me. I know I haven't been posting as often as I would like to, but that's just the way how life can be sometimes. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and perhaps I'll have some other interesting stuff to share with you. But until then, you all have a nice one.